War Eagle Auburn fans, and welcome to Tiger Tracks, your source for Auburn track and field news and discussion. I'm your host, Jessica Loomis, and I'm here with my husband, Kyle, to discuss the NCAA East Preliminaries at the Billy Hayes Track and Field Complex in Bloomington, Indiana.
I can tell you what, if they're going to be doing this outdoors, which it is outdoor track and field, I bet it felt a lot better up there than it did during the week down here in the South.
For sure. I also think it'll feel really good in Oregon.
I was just thinking that too. I was like, I kind of lament every year that it takes place up there, that we'll probably never get a chance to go to it, just because why are we going to be in Oregon? I mean, no offense to Oregon.
For the NCAAs?
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that's
see the Ducks.
See Bo Nix apparently because he's over there now.
I mean, there you go.
But my point is, at least they have great weather in terms of temperature up there. At least you think
during the summer. I can't imagine it would be very mild in the winter.
This is key. This is a key thing.
So back to the NCAAs. So this is where we were for the East Preliminaries.
And obviously they have a West Preliminaries.
Correct. So this was, like I said, in Bloomington, Indiana, May 25th through the 28th. So both East and West prelims, they took the top 12 finishers in each event to the NCAA championships. That's important to know.
Mm-hmm. So that's everybody that goes, just the 12 best of everybody out there amongst all East.
There is always an exception to the rule.
Why is there always an exception?
I don't know, but for some reason there's always an exception. But that is their statement. The preliminaries, their statement is the top 12 in each event go.
Okay.
So
all right. That's what you just need to operate with.
Yep. Also of note, Alex Spyridonidis has already received his ticket to nationals in the decathlon.
Is he one of these special occasion things?
Yes, because there wasn't a decathlon in the prelims.
Interesting.
So,
well, that makes sense. But if you've already, there's a bunch of people that want to compete in this, but they didn't have it at the prelims. Why, punish them for not being at the national stage?
Yeah. So like I said, there's always exceptions to the rules, right?
Yeah. It's just one extra representative for Auburn. I'm not mad at it.
So that's true. There are a lot of highlights. There are a lot of people that competed at the prelims that are also headed on to the NCAA championships.
Do you feel like there's more than we've had in the past?
Yes. I don't know if that's an accurate fact.
I feel
but
like
it feels
is,
like
though.
There's more. We're going off of gut feelings here, which is not always accurate, but as a nurse, they tell you trust your gut. So here we are.
Well, I guess I'm just going to have to trust your gut because I don't know what my gut's telling me except that I'm hungry.
And that's fair. I'm definitely hungry too. So highlights. You want to start us off?
Let's talk about some highlights. We've got Kyle Brown to start us off with. He got 10th in the men's hammer throw, earning him a spot in the NCAA championships. Also, my man James Corson was 12th in the pole vault. Dante Brown earned a PR in the 100-meter dash prelims with a time of 10.14 seconds.
Maddie Malone became the first Auburn woman to qualify for 3 NCAA championships in the hammer throw.
Nice.
Ashley Carter qualified in the javelin throw, and Dontavius Hill placed 4th in the high jump to qualify for the championships.
All names that we were expecting so far to qualify. It's the people that we've been talking about each and every time. A lot of throwing things, because we love to throw things at Auburn, apparently. Maybe we should sign some of these guys and girls for quarterback at Auburn. I'm just saying. They can throw things pretty well. Maybe they can throw an oblong ball well, too.
That's fair.
Maybe so. All right, we also got Asia Jinks qualified with a PR of 56.63 seconds in the women's 400-meter hurdles.
Absolutely incredible time.
It is. And Joyce Camelli, of course, qualified for her 3rd NCAA championships in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. More just props to her for just continuing to do a confounding race that is long, but also, hey, we're just going to let you run through water as well. just throw that in there for some odd reason. Presley Williams qualified with her 800-meter run as well. And Mara Hewalt, who I won't call a surprise from the SEC championships, but I don't think a lot of people were expecting her to be an SEC champion at the end of the thing.
That's fair.
And so now she's also qualified to go on to NCAA in the discus throw, which is not a surprise. Now we're used to it, where they're doing it at SECs.
A lot of Auburn throwing events for the women. So before we get into all the results from the prelims, just going to throw this out there. Every event had 48 competitors. So we're not going to say what place they placed out of 48. Just know it's a blanket. 48 competitors.
Which is interesting because, we're used to all of these events where we're talking about sometimes
hundreds
just of competitors, especially in the heats for each of these.
You have to be invited to the prelims.
Exactly. So this is not a situation where we talked about in some track and field meets where there's open and invitational. This is invitation only. You have to be the best of the best.
AKA Kyle and Jessica would never be there.
Well, you would be there before me, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, but if it was basketball, I would never be there.
See, okay, real quick aside. This has been a long-standing thing in our relationship. Jessica swears that she is terrible at basketball. The right coaching, AKA me, I would have her being a star because she's...
okay.
She's got the lankiness.
Zero coordination.
That's true. You did fall down these stairs not too far from us.
Exactly. So, all the results. Let's talk about this. The prelims again. So, for the women's 400 meter, Aaliyah Francis competed. She placed 24th and had a time of 56.01 seconds. For the women's 400 meter hurdles, like we discussed, Asia Jinks did qualify for the NCAA Outdoors, placing 4th in the 400 meter hurdles with a time of 56.63. Tyler Colbert also competed, placing 34th in 60.21 seconds.
Asia getting us started off with our first qualifier there in the 400 meter hurdles. Let's also talk about some middle distance runs here, or at least one. The 800 meter we already talked about with Presley Weems. She qualified, but also finished 10th overall of those 48 with a time of 2 minutes 4.4 seconds. The women's 3,000 meter steeplechase. Joyce Camelli qualified, obviously. We already talked about that, but finished 7th overall out of the 43 brave athletes. 48, excuse me. That brave athletes that decided to not only run that long, but jump through water as well. 9 minutes, 55.6 seconds, which is actually her slowest time of the year so far.
She's saving herself for nationals.
I made that argument one time on this show that athletes save themselves, and you got all mad at me
because I don't believe that, but I knew you would think that, so that's why I said it.
Well, sometimes you just aren't on your A game, but I think if there's ever a moment where you're pretty sure that you're gonna qualify, you phone it in just a little bit to save yourself. This is probably that moment.
Well, yeah, if you're 7th, yeah.
Hey Auburn fans, I want to take a quick timeout from this episode to bring your attention to something very special. Here at the E2C Network, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best content for Auburn fans out there. And best of all, it's free to you. But just because it's free doesn't mean there aren't costs, especially when you have a library of hundreds of podcasts, videos, blogs, and more. Many of you have reached out and asked how you can support this network in the past. Well, now I have your answer. It's called the E2C Network Booster Club over at patreon.com/E2C Network. There you'll find a membership monthly reward system where you can sign up for as little as $1 and get different perks at different tiers. Some of those perks include things such as apparel, eligibility to join us on future podcasts, recognition as an E2C Network booster, exclusive communications, and bonus content that is available nowhere else. If you love this network and want to help us keep producing podcasts like this one, please head on over to patreon.com/E2C Network to join the E2C Network Booster Club. You can also get there by going to our website, e2cnetwork.com/support. Whether you decide to join or not, we are still so appreciative that you would support us by just listening and being here, because each and every one of you is part of our E2C Network family. Well, that's it. Timeout's over. Let's get back into the episode.
Moving on to the women's 5,000 meter, Joyce competed in that, placed 11th in 15 minutes, 56.3 seconds.
I'm always curious which one of these they do first. Is it the 3,000 or the 5,000?
Yeah.
To me, it would make sense to do the 5,000 first.
No, it wouldn't?
Yes, because you then have to run less that second day or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
For
the women's hammer throw. We had Maddie Malone placing 4th with a throw of 67.48 meters, and Danny Gregory placing 34th with a throw of 57.5 meters.
Can we go back for just a second? This is her third NCAA's, Maddie's.
Yeah.
For us.
Isn't that insane?
So, Joy, just think about that. We have been talking about, you and I think it's been 3 years now plus we've been doing this show together. Maddie and Joyce we've been talking about for that long. It's just crazy. It's flown by, but it's also been a long time, too.
It's going to be sad when we don't get to talk about them anymore.
Don't start that with me. We don't even have Coach Spride next year. Okay, I'm not going to do that yet. All right, the javelin throw. We've got 3 to talk about here. Ashley Carter, we already talked about her qualifying 3rd overall out of the 48. 53.80 meter throw for her. Shania Holly also qualified 12th overall, 50.12 meter throw. And then Kiera McCarroll, 16th out of those 48, 49.30 meter throw.
So for the women's long jump, we had Essence Thomas placing 31st in 5.81 meters. And Janiah Jones placing 32nd in 5.80 meters. So very close for them, 5.81 and 5.80. Women's shot put, we had Mara Hewalt placing 38th with a throw of 14.97 meters.
And now we already talked about it. Mara Hewalt qualified not in the shot put, but the discus 12th overall, 52.67 meter throw or toss. Would you call that a toss? It's a discus toss, isn't it?
I think they did a discus throw.
What's the difference between a toss and a throw now? These are the
violence.
Things. What?
The difference is violence.
A throw is more violent than a toss?
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of when you imply toss, it's kind of
like underhanded, just like giving a water balloon to a toddler.
But you
throw.
But then you underhand a discus if I'm thinking about how they throw it properly.
Listen, I don't know, Kyle. Move on.
That's a toss.
I don't know.
These are the things that we debate on this show.
No, we don't. These are the things Kyle debates.
I just love to debate. Jocelyn Budwig also competed in the discus. She got 32nd, 48.32 meters for her throw. That's all of our ladies.
It is. So for the men, Dante Brown, he placed 13th with a time of 10.22. That was his time in the finals. For the men's 1500 meter, we had Ryan Kinane placing 39th, 3 minutes 50.9 seconds, and Tommy McDonough placing 44th, 3 minutes 55.6 seconds.
Should I let you do this one?
No, go for it.
Okay. Oh, I'm shocked. She's giving me the relay, folks. This is a new day here on this show. The men's 4x100 relay. Our four competitors were Jason Reese, Dante Brown, Brandon Smiley, and David Edmondson. They finished just shy, because I'm assuming the 12 teams.
They finished less than 0.02 of a second shy of making it to the NCAAs.
13th overall, 39.75 seconds was their time.
The hardest thing about this for me is this was their slowest time of the season. If they had run their times that they had run the last two times they competed this season, they would have made it to the finals, but it's okay. It just wasn't meant to be. Still, placing 13th is awesome.
It is, and we want to celebrate them representing us.
The fact that we had a relay team is huge.
And there's a disappointment factor because you know they wanted to do that for Coach
Spry.
Oh,
of course, and for themselves.
Obviously. But when you have a coach like that you've obviously known yourself through your tenure here, but that's meant that much to your school and your program, it means a little bit more. It's kind of like the whole SEC slogan, it just means more.
I guess. Maybe I'm just a selfish person because I want to do it for me, not for somebody else.
She said it, folks, not me. So I'm just going to go with it there. All right, the hammer throw. We've talked about him. Kyle Brown qualified, finishing 10th, 68.02 meter throw. Also saw Eric Ebel there, 13th again, just shy of qualifying for NCAAs. 67.43 meters was his throw. Kyle Moisen, 27th, 61.47 meter throw. Even though the other two didn't qualify, they both finished, they almost all finished in the top half there. It was close to it. So that was a pretty good performance overall.
So for the men's high jump, Dontavius Hill, like we discussed, placing 4th, qualifying with a jump of 2.18 meters. And James Corson qualifying in the pole vault with a vault of 5.29 meters, earning him 12th place.
So in summary, let me just roll back through all of our qualifiers one more time for everybody as a reminder. Men's pole vault, James Corson. Men's high jump, Dontavius Hill. Men's hammer throw, Kyle Brown. Women's discus, Mara Hewalt. Women's javelin, we got 2, Ashley Carter and Shania Holly. Women's hammer throw, Maddie Malone. Women's 3,000 steeplechase, Joyce Camelli. Women's 800 meter, Presley Weems, and women's 400 meter hurdles, Asia Jinks. Also, we cannot forget Alex Spiridonitis in the decathlon will be representing Auburn.
Yep,
so
that's the 11.
Quite a spread of events. It's obviously heavy on the throws, as we're used to. But we've got a decathlon in there. We've got a sprint in there. We've got a middle distance, a long distance. We've got a jump. I mean, this is obviously, I think we addressed at the beginning of the show, one of the bigger groups that we've seen go for Auburn.
Yep.
I mean, I remember when we talked about 2 people.
Oh,
I feel like
of course.
So now we actually can put together full shows because we have more than just 2 or 3 to talk about. It's a great last go around for Coach Spry, but also this is just a great season that's been a lot of hard work's been put into, and now we're seeing the fruits of the labor, and a lot of the usual names we talk about, but some new ones as well.
Absolutely. So obviously there needs to be a time of rest and recovery for the athletes. So the NCAA Outdoor Championships will not be held until June 8th through the 11th. And like we said before, that will be in Eugene, Oregon. So we look forward to talking about that.
It will be, I'm sure, some decent weather out there. It would just be nice one time if they could switch it up and bring the NCAAs to like, at least to Arkansas.
No, it has to be. This is where it is.
But Arkansas is like the Oregon of the South.
Of indoor track.
Of this sport. So that's
indoor track is not outdoor track. Keep it to yourself.
Okay, listen, there are some differences, but it's the same. There's a reason.
Before Kyle takes me off further. We are just really looking forward to the NCAA Outdoor Championships.
Before we go, one prediction. Predict one gold for me.
Maddie Malone, women's hammer throw.
Dadgummit, she took mine too. But I'm going to say my girl, Ashley Carter. She's going to do it for Kylie Carter, who we missed from last season. So those are my predictions. That's Jessica's predictions.
All right. War Eagle.
War Eagle.